everyone, I'm Deanne Wenger, yoga instructor for Calabasas Library. Welcome back and happy July. Can you believe that we are already in the first week of July? Well, with this pandemic, who even knows what day, week, month it is, but we're all doing our best. And I'm so pleased that you joined us. So let's enjoy this 30 to 45 minute yoga session, nice and gentle, a gentle practice to get our bodies back into the yoga groove. And so with that, let's separate our feet hip distance apart. Really feel grounded onto the mat. Let's do some nice shoulder shrugs, just lifting and releasing, up and back. As I've shared before in my classes, we carry that stress and anxiety here as if we're wearing our shoulders like earrings, and we just like to release it on back. Let's do that again. Inhale up and let it go. One more time. Inhale. And nice exhale. Hopefully that's already a nice start to your practice. Rolling onto your tippy toes and your heels. Forward and back. Just feeling that nice groundedness to the mat. Rooting and rebounding. Root down and rebound up. Let's do a few more for 3. When I go back on my heels, I like to lift my toes up. 2. And 1 more. 1. Good. Shake it out. Good. Back to hip distance width apart with our feet. Let's all take a nice inhale, releasing our arms up towards the ceiling. I'm going to let my left palm clasp around my right wrist. Take a nice inhale, extending that right arm up while letting your shoulders release back down. Inhale once again. And over we go towards the left side, getting a nice side body stretch over to your left. If you feel your toes are starting to dig into the mat, gently lift your toes up and then let them lower down. 1 more inhale. Exhale over to our left. Inhale back up. Release your arms down. Followed by another inhalation. Inhale. Exhale, right palm comes to clasp on your left wrist. Again, gently extending that arm up towards the ceiling while letting your shoulders drift back down. 1 more inhale. Over to your right. Notice how each side of your body is completely different from one another. You may have a fuller range or more restrictiveness on one side to another. And that's what yoga is about, just getting in tune with what your body needs over a little bit more at this time, at this moment. 1 more inhale. And slowly reach back up. Going into that gentle back bend, expanding your arms open like goalposts or cactus arms. Inhale back up. Palms connect. Exhale, release. Squeezing those shoulder blades, really feeling that nice extension through your front and back body. Inhale once again. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's release our inhale back up. And gently letting our palms come down. First, forward fold of the day, we might put a bend in our knees, letting our hands draw that imaginary line down as we also draw that line back up. Going in steeple hold, clasp your fingers, press your index fingers together. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold on down. Draw that imaginary line once again. Inhaling back up. And hands come together at your heart center. Ah, beautiful. Let's go on down to the mat. Coming onto your back. Hopefully you can see me okay. I believe so. And nearby, I have my yoga props. So if you have gotten anything to help you get into your yoga poses, feel free to use them at any time. I have my blocks, I have my strap, all yummy yoga props to help get into our poses with a little bit more gentleness and mindfulness. Come onto your back. Make any adjustments with the ponytail if you need to. And we're going to release our legs up and let our shoulders roll on down. I like to always enjoy this nice restorative pose. We just call it legs up the wall, or that imaginary wall. It is really good to have those legs inverted, letting the blood flow in the opposite direction. Flexing your feet and point, and flex and point. Hearing the music of the car honking in the background, maybe a bird chirping, and just not letting any of those exterior distractions get in our way, because we're all together here right now, right at this moment. Paddle your feet one and the other in opposite directions. Just feeling that nice fluidness and mobility of your feet that we have to feel gratitude that carry us throughout our day. Good. One more time. Inhale, point those toes, really extend those legs. Feel that extension. Feel that flow of length created from our sits bones to our hips, our knees, to our ankles, to our toes. One more inhale, and slowly, using your abdominal strength, we slowly lower our legs back to the mat. Nice and slow and controlled. As I like to joke, how slow can you go? And yes, the heels are the first to connect and lower down. Good. Sway your feet apart and together like windshield wipers. Beautiful. Drawing both knees in, we lift our back off the mat. Palms come to meet at the opposite elbow, clasping around our legs. If that's not available to you, find that clasp in back of the thighs. Flexing our toes back towards your body. And we lift up a little higher without straining your neck and back. We just gently lift, using our breath to guide us, and hold. One more time, lift, head towards the knees, and slowly lower down. Good. Let's do a nice gentle twist. Left leg crosses the right, and we let our legs shift over to the right as we gaze to the left. To really get that left shoulder blade down to the mat, we use that half cactus arm, bending at the elbow of our left arm, pressing that right palm into the earth to help stabilize us and ground us. Nice. Slowly release your legs back to center and uncross the left leg. Right leg lifts up and crosses over. And over our legs go towards the left side. Same thing, bending that right arm, letting the back of the right palm come flat to the floor, and your gaze follows over to the right side. Notice if you have any restrictions, such as I do on my right hip side, you're not going to have those legs come down to the floor. They may float up in the air, or if, even better, if you have a pillow or a block, you can place it under it to bring that floor up to your leg and help support the leg. Slowly release out, remove the block or any prop you may have used to stabilize your pose. Release that right leg out from the left. Let's windshield wiper your legs from left to right. Just feeling that nice freedom of movement from right to left. Good. Bringing those legs back up and hands over the shin. We rock forward and back and forward and back. I like to call this rocking and rolling, rolling and rocking. Coming up to that seated balancing position, just like this. Keeping those feet flexed, relaxing those arms in towards your side bodies. Good. If you feel nice and steady, you can release your right arm out, palm up towards the ceiling, and left arm can follow. Trying not to bend back like I just fell back. Sitting up nice and tall, trying to maintain that straight back. And slowly release your feet down. Let your head come to rest on top of your thighs. And breathe. Imagine a masseuse placing their palms on the back of your neck and shoulders and back, and just letting everything be melted down to the earth. Using that left palm and that right palm on your side, bring yourself up to a squat position. I'll turn so you can see me better. So you're at the end of the mat, most likely. And this can be a good balancing place to be as well. Walk those hands back a little closer towards your feet. Again, practicing that nice squatting balancing pose. And from here, you can bring that right palm up and maybe just maintain that one hand to the mat to balance you. If you feel steady and you want to add on, let that left palm come back, pressing your palms together. Fixing that gaze is always key. In yoga terms, we call that your drishti. Yes, and breathing nice and steady. For 3, relax those shoulders. Nice tall spine. 2, and 1. Let those hands come back down to the mat. Hips rise up, and it brings us to our first forward fold. Maybe not first. I think we folded earlier. Hands release up to your hip, keeping a nice soft micro bend in your knees as we slowly rise back up to a standing position. Kick it out. Since we're here, we can enjoy a nice tree pose. Letting our hands start on our hips and feeling the earth below us. Imagine you're that strong mountain. In fact, let your hands come by your sides and just rock forward and back once again like we did earlier. And now try to ground all 4 corners of your feet into the mat. When I say ground, I just mean to feel connected. I don't mean to put any pressure or extra weight. Just let those feet become one with the mat. Nice. Now let those hands resume their position on your hips. As you find steadiness, in your left standing leg. I'm going to start with the left foot down to the mat as we kickstand our right. Notice any subtle changes of hip positioning from one side to another. So try to keep nice and centered, both hips shining forward, both hips in alignment. So we're nice and square to the front. Beautiful. And from there, draw a nice inhale as we let that right leg come up to tree pose. That foot finds your inner leg, wherever that may be. As long as it's not on your kneecap, you want it to be below or above the knee region. And pressing against it, but not pounding into it, if that makes sense. So feeling that challenge, and yet that exhilaration of just standing steady on one leg. Beautiful. If you like to release your arms, feel free. One arm and then another. Letting your arms reach out towards the side. Enjoying that flow of energy from feet to head and hand to hand. Take another inhale and slowly bring your hands back to your hips, and we slowly release our right foot back to the mat. Shake out your legs a little bit. Good. Shake your body a little bit. Whatever you like. You're alone. You can do what you want. That's the beauty of this. Right leg stands nice and steady, but again, never locking at the knee, keeping a nice soft, subtle bend. And left leg bends, or I call it kickstand, kickstanding that leg out. And then from there, you could slowly let that left foot rise below the knee, or you may even want to grab on, oops, a little oopsie, and gently place that left foot to your inner thigh. Good. Find that steadiness. Keep that drishti. I'm going to do just that. I think when I was looking at the computer screen, it threw me off balance a little bit. So finding that steadiness. Ooh, little different sensation doing this to a computer. And then if you'd like, you can release both arms simultaneously. Let them reach out to your side. Or you could also release them all the way up, spinning your arms inward. Pinkies roll in a little bit, shoulders roll down your back, and everything extending throughout that nice tall spine from your lumbar to your thoracic, up to your cervical spine by your neck. Take a nice inhale, release your arms, ooh, and kick it out. Okay, maybe it was a little smoother for you than for me. So much for that drishti action for me today. And from here, we're gonna do a little bit of flow. So come to the front of your mat. Excuse my side view. I think this might be better though than me turning my mat the other direction, so we'll just give it a try and see if this is good to guide you. Planting your feet together, soles of your feet together, hands down by your side. Again, enjoying that strength and that steadiness of mountain pose. We call that Tadasana. And then from there, let your arms reach up and rise. If you're enjoying this movement to breath, that's absolutely perfect. If you're enjoying the movement to music, that's absolutely perfect. If you're enjoying this just to the sound of my talking, well, hopefully that's absolutely perfect. Inhale once again, exhale it out. I'm not hearing any exhales. Let's go again. One more time. Inhale. Big, full exhale. Well, now I heard my own. Hopefully you heard yours. One more inhale. Listen for the change. Exhale, hinging from the hips. Nice flat back. Again, never locking the knees. As we slowly lower down, hands come to connect somewhere at your ankles or shins or thighs. Reaching up to find that flat back, stay there. This is a great time to utilize those blocks if you have yoga blocks at home or a stack of books. Again, whatever you need to help support that flat back, that's wonderful. Take a nice inhale. And exhale, remove the blocks if you place them there. Otherwise, exhale it down. Sometimes I like to reach my hands around back to my ankles to help pull my chest and my head closer to my front body. One more time, inhale halfway up. And exhale, refold again. Release and reach your arms out to the side. And let our hands find their heart center. Your thumbs come to rest in your chest cavity. And we stay here for a moment and pause. If you like to close your eyes and think about your third eye center, your place of intention, that place of wisdom, and possibly set an intention for the remainder of this class. We don't have that much more time, but the time we have remaining will serve us for whatever brought us to our mat today. That intention can guide you for the remainder of this class, possibly throughout the rest of the day, the rest of the week, for this month to follow. And release your arms down, open your eyes. Good. Let's add on. Let's step our right leg back, 45-degree angle of your back foot. Front foot is in line. The heel of your front left foot is in line with the back arch. Shifting your weight forward and shifting your weight to the side. I'm going to shift again, letting that left arm reach and extend out to be in line with the left leg. Right arm reaches behind us. It's as if we have a representation of the future with our left arm and the past with the right arm. And where does that leave us? Right here in the present. So here we go. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bending through that front left leg. Always checking to make sure that that front knee is not extending beyond the front ankle. If so, you might just want to squiggle that front foot out a little bit or heel toe the back foot backwards, really giving you that nice full stance to enjoy your warrior two. Good. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. See if you can go a little deeper without collapsing that back leg. You want to make sure you are able to really keep both legs nice and straight and strong. And let's enjoy a little flow. Flipping your palms up. Take a nice inhale up. Palms come to meet. Gaze follows your palms. Exhale. Palms come back down towards the earth. Gaze follows over the front left arm. Inhale, flip those palms up. Reach up. Exhale. You know what to do now. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale. Beautiful. And from here, let's just gently flip that left foot forward. And now we're in a wide leg stance. And we're going to enjoy a nice wide leg forward fold. Ashrita Tadasana. And we're going to go halfway. That in Sanskrit is called Ardha. Here we go. Nice inhale. Ardha, halfway. And I like to abbreviate it PP. Ardha, PP. Good. Just letting the flow of gravity come up under our torso as our torso rests against it and feels no conflict, just floating above air. Take another inhale. Exhale, we rise back up. Hands come back down to your side. Let's just flip over to the other side. Right foot angles out. Left foot goes at 45 degree, setting us up for our warrior two on our right side. Right arm reaches forward, and you know, left arm reaches back. Palms facing down. When you're ready, enjoy that nice inhalation. Exhale, we fold. Good. If you feel you need to, lift those toes back up and let them float down. Just like I mentioned earlier, never wanting to grind our toes into the mat. We always want to feel as if we're floating above the mat or just connected with that nice strong connection. Inhale, let's go a little deeper. As long as that front knee is not extending past that front ankle, we don't want to create any extra stress on any of our joints. Good. And then let's enjoy a nice little flow, flipping those palms. You know what we're doing. Arms reach up, inhale, gaze up, exhale, we flow it down. Inhale, and exhale. Think of it as a choreographed dance. You're the choreographer and the dancer. So beautiful. Staying here. Let your hands come back to your hips. Stabilize the pose as we flip that right foot towards the center. Both feet parallel to each other and the long edges of your mat. Arms release down. And we're going to forward fold, change it up a little bit. If you need, feel free to place a yoga block in front of your mat or right to the edge of your mat. Left palm down as that right arm reaches up. Notice how that right hip pops up. So now square it back. Let that extension and reach come completely on your right side body and not just from the left hip side. Beautiful. Let that gaze seek that right palm. Draw another inhale. Exhale. Right arm lowers. Inhale. Left arm reaches up towards your left side, towards the ceiling. Again, that left side reaches up, and then we shift it back, trying to square off your hips once again, and really enjoying that nice reach, that nice stretch through your left side of your body and back. Let that gaze seek that left palm this time. And then we slowly lower down. Bending through your knees. We did a squat earlier. Now we're at a wide leg squat. You can stay here with your hands flat to a block, flat to the floor, flat to the mat, or feel that steadiness. Challenge your balance and bring your palms together. Elbows splay out to the side. And we can go side to side. Yes, we got this, everyone. Nice and strong, steady as can be, side to side. Few more. Keep using that breath. Our breath guides us and controls us. Or we should say, we don't allow it to control us. We use it to guide us. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe a little snap, crackle, pop, I always joke, from our joints and our limbs, ligaments, and all that. Back to center. Sit a little lower. Really sit up nice and tall as we lower our bottoms to the mat for 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly rise up. Nice work, everyone. Heel toe in. Kick it out. See, you're working. I have sweat marks on my mat. What else is new? Let's all go down to the mat. If you need a sip of water, feel free. As I always say, yoga cheers. Okay. And come on to the mat. Something I like to do when I have my yoga blocks, and again, if you have a pillow you can use, or a blanket, a small blanket, or a towel, or just go without a yoga prop. I like to place the block in between my thighs and allow my thighs to really heat up by pushing against the block as we do our abdominal exercise. So come on down. First go into a reverse tabletop and just let your thighs push together. Imagine there's a magnet just drawing your inner legs together, and we squeeze for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, 6, we got this. Keep squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower it down. Nice. And one more exercise we're going to do. I'm going to take the blocks in the palms of my hands, release those legs up that imaginary wall like we did before. Arms release away from us, away from your legs. And we're going to alternate, but this time block to feet. If you don't have a block, you can just use your hands as well. Right hand with the block to your left foot. And then we switch. Left block to your right foot, and we switch. Alternating right to left. Have you added on the breath? It just comes naturally to me because I know the benefit of how much it sustains my poses and my movements. So please feel free to add on at your leisure. And then we can double time. You could even lift up your neck, engaging your abdominal core a little bit more. And then I start to count for 8 and 7 and 6. Try to reach a little higher. I think that's 5. So we got 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Nice work, everyone. And for those that have practiced yoga with me for so long, you know I'm not done with our core work until we do a third series, each time stepping it up just a little bit. So what can we add on now? Well, it goes like this. We're going to place the block in both hands, raise those feet, and then we're going to just transfer the block from hands to feet. Lowering the legs. You could do this with bent legs, which is a little bit more gentle, a little bit gentler. And you can just do it with your legs up and down, not transferring it to hands. You can also leave your head down as I'm demonstrating. Or if you'd like to go a little bit more advanced, lift your head up, keeping your upper back and shoulders off the mat, transferring from hands to feet. Shall I start counting? I'm sure someone's saying yes. So here we go. For 8 and 7. Nice work. Keep going. 6. We only got 5 more. 5. Beautiful. 4. We're almost done. 3. Yes. 2. We got this. And 1. And down we go. As you know, when I can't talk anymore, that's when we stop. But really nice work, everyone. Such nice work. Let's place that left leg over our right, going into what I like to call the W. Left knee stacks on top of the right, and you take your hands to the opposite ankle. You may feel this on your right hip. You may feel it on your left. Really try to lower your sits bones. Try to lower your hips to the mat. And let's switch the cross. Right leg over to the left. Oops, sweaty palms. I slipped out of that clasp of my hand. Right knee stacks on top of the left. Always engage your abdominal core. Relax those shoulders and just breathe. Release both legs. Soles of your feet come together. We're in a line. Supta Baddha Konasana, lying down. Cobblers Pose, using those arms to spread out your inner thigh, your groin. Really getting a nice stretch. Nice. And last pose, letting that left leg cross over the right. The right foot can maintain itself on the mat, or you can lift that right foot off. Threading the needle, left arm threads through the opening created by your legs. Right hand comes to clasp around. Did I say right leg? Right hand. If I stand corrected if I need to be. Right hand finds the left hand in front of the shin or in back of the right thigh. Gently drawing that right leg closer in towards your center. And then I try to think of that left knee. Just gently stretching away. Creating dual resistance in opposite directions. Flexing through both feet engages the pose a slight bit more. Beautiful. And release. Last yoga stretch before we go into our final resting. Right leg crosses over the left. Left leg comes up, threading that right arm through. Right hand finds the left behind the thigh or on the shin. Relax those shoulders down and breathe. Perfect. Flexing your feet for 2. And final 1. And as you all know so well, we save the best pose for last, our final pose of the class. We call it our final resting pose. And the name is Shavasana. If you'd like to lower the lights in your room, or turn off that heavy metal rock and roll music you may have blasting. Whatever you need to give yourself this moment of solace, this moment of meditation. Simply some time out you so well deserve. As I share a little bit of yoga wisdom and inspiration with you. There's a yoga guidebook that's called Yoga Sutras. Some people call it the Bible of Yoga. Lots of nicknames for it, but you may want to check it out at some point. Again, it's Yoga Sutras. And in the Yoga Sutras, there's 8 limbs of yoga. And the 8 limbs all have some very significant meanings. And I'm going to speak of the first limb, which is called yama. And yama has an interpretation of universal ethical observance, which I thought was very apropos during this time and from what we've experienced in these recent months. And the first yama is actually titled ahimsa. And ahimsa is so very important as it's defined of nonviolence. Again, could that be more relevant today? And the practice is not just an outwardly focus, but actually you could turn it inward and treat yourself with ahimsa. Treat ourselves with kindness and compassion. So if you're lying down, please give yourself that final full body yoga stretch, letting your arms reach behind you, overhead, toes pointed away from you. Really enjoying that nice full body stretch. Hopefully noticing the change of how your body feels within this hour of yoga practice. It really is short of a miracle. Letting your arms come back down to their sides, rolling over to one side, using that palm, both palms to gently bring yourself up and allowing yourself to sit in a cross-legged or your hero's pose, such as I'm modeling for you. Thank you. Letting your hands come to your heart center. We thank you for joining in and still continuing to be a part of this community. 10 years we've had this wonderful program going. And thank you to Carolyn and Barbara and all the librarians and Calabasas Library that has gifted us this space and place to share our yoga practice, and now gifting us this virtual experience so we can all do it in the safety of our homes. I wish everyone to stay healthy and happy and in ahimsa filled July and for the months to follow. Thank you. If you'd be so kind to repeat after me. Namaste.